yogis, it's Jackie. I apologize. I did not get the video for our fourth chakra of our series at Evolve, the video for the heart chakra, Anahata, up last week, so you get 2 videos this week. So first of all, I will talk about the heart chakra, or Anahata. That is located obviously in the heart area of the body, and in the chest, in the cardiac region of the body. Its color is green, and the element is air, and it develops around 4 to 7 years old. So the heart chakra really is about love and balance. It is about self-acceptance and acceptance of others. And really, when balanced, one would be compassionate, loving, empathic, altruistic, and have good immunity, and feel expansive in the body, and especially in the chest area. If deficient, one might feel, oh look, there's my cat. One might feel antisocial, critical, judgmental, or like my cat, who doesn't care that I'm videotaping right now. You might feel depressed or narcissistic. That's if you are deficient in that area. If you are in excess in the heart center or Anahata chakra, you might feel codependent, clingy, jealous, overly like people-pleasing, having poor boundaries. So we really work, again, to find that balance between the polarities. And if you haven't already figured out on our way through this chakra journey that you really want to, it's that balance, that back and forth, and it's always kind of moving, and we're always kind of finding our way. And this is duality and moving up and then moving back and finding our center. So physical manifestations that one might experience if the heart chakra is deficient or in excess would be disorders of the heart, of the breasts, of the lungs, the thymus gland, and the arms actually. And you might feel shortness of breath, poor circulation or problems with circulation, as well as tension between the shoulder blades or the chest. So one thing about that we're starting to move up the chakras is the heart is in the center of the 7 chakra system. So the lower 3 are really physical and of the earth, if you think of it in that way. And the upper 3 chakras are really related to more subtle, more less dense, and the heart is the balance between that. So we're really working on balancing both the Shiva and Shakti energy within us. In Jungian terms, for you psychology folks, would be like the anime and the animus, which is basically comes down to the male and female energy within us. So, as stereotypically one might think, and is fairly true in some aspects of personality characteristics that have just been ingrained and reinforced over years and centuries and centuries and centuries between men and women. Men have, if you think of a man, you think of certain characteristics, and when you think of a female, you think of certain characteristics. Maybe when you think of a female, you think of soft, you think of nurturing, you think of caring, and when you think of man, you think of strong and foundational and maybe more dense. That wasn't to be offensive, and but that more physical, that more of the earth, and you might think of the woman more of the higher energy. And so some of that, we are all made up of both of these things. And women are not just made up of Shakti energy, and men are not made up of just that Shiva energy. And so we have both. It's just some people carry more than the others. So you might be a male carrying more Shakti energy, and you might be a female carrying more Shiva energy, or vice versa. Typically, women because of that societal reinforcement over centuries and centuries and centuries of societies and communities, that women typically, the female gender typically has more female characteristics. So this is always fluctuating within us. It might vary with the day. It might vary with the experiences that we're having in our lives. But the heart center is really the coming together of these two energies, and really where we work that out in our heart. And so if you also think about that in regards to our relationships, not only are we talking about friendships, family relationships, coworkers, our relationship with other people in the world, even strangers, people passing us by on the street, but we're also talking about our intimate relationships as well. And so you can think about how to balance that in your relationships as well, in your life, and in your heart, if that makes sense. So we are balancing both reaching out as well as taking in, nurturing and being taken care of, being strong and foundational for other people, but yet being soft and willing to be carried. So this is the balance that we work on achieving in the heart chakra. Fear and grief are usually the blockages or the things that are barriers to us achieving that balance, because we're fearful of either maybe taking in someone's love because they might hurt us, or I can't give love to other people because I've lost too much in my life and I just can't give love again in fear of losing. So that's that fear and grief part. So those are kind of the demons or the barriers that we need to really look at overcoming in our life when it comes to, if I'm non-judgmentally observing how I am in my relationships and where I'm resistant and where I'm not, I might look at, okay, so is that grief or fear that's related to that part, the parts where I'm being resistant. So, healing the heart really is about attending to the most vulnerable and sacred parts of ourselves. It's willing to have this radical self-acceptance within ourselves. And for some of you who might have been following my page, I was going on this journey of non-judgment or journey of love several moons ago. And it was really interesting. I never really closed up after that, but it was what it needed to be for me. But really it's all about finding self-acceptance and radically self-accepting every part of you, even the dark spots, even the dark parts of you, the parts that are still being worked on, the parts, because none of us are perfect, but if you can accept and love, absolutely find compassion for every piece of you, including the emotional self, the spiritual self, the physical self, what we look like, all of this. If we can self-accept, it's also creating that energy of accepting others. So when you really work on accepting yourself, you're really working on accepting other people as well, and vice versa. When you work on really radically having compassion for every person in your life and person in this world, including people who may not be what we might think of the highest good, having absolute compassion for everybody despite that, and keeping boundaries at the same time. So again, it's that balance, but having compassion and love for every living being and every living thing in this world. So that might also mean animals, insects, plants, nature, Mother Earth. All of these things are issues of the heart. So through love, we are able to embrace and heal the larger world around us. And this is what I'd like you to take with the heart chakra, is compassion for you, compassion for others. Start healing the world one acceptance at a time, and really turning inward and looking at those vulnerable places in your heart and being willing to completely embrace yourself and love. As simple as that. Heart is love. Easy to remember. Take it with you as much as you can throughout your day, and if you forget about it, come back to it and honor that heart center. I hope you enjoyed last week's practices with the lots of back bending, expansion, opening up of the heart. And this week we have the throat chakra, which I'm going to be making that video next, so stay tuned, and we'll see you then. Namaste.